Good morning, everyone. This is Sexologist Dr. Uttam Dave, and I welcome you to Maximum Performance Videos. Today, I'm going to discuss a very important topic, and that is how do couples handle erectile dysfunction and how to actually handle erectile dysfunction. Well, first of all, we'll begin with how do couples actually handle an erectile problem. The first thing that couples do when they face an erectile problem is they avoid intercourse. The second thing which they do is normally the wife pretends that she has a headache. The third thing which happens is any form of physical affection like hugs, kisses, caresses, etc. stops. The fourth thing which happens is that any form of verbal communication or non-verbal communication, anything related with sexual matters or non-sexual matters stops. The fifth thing which happens is that the man loses his self-confidence. He starts thinking that he is not enough of a man. And finally what happens is the husband starts blaming the wife for his erection problems. Now let us try to understand this entire scenario and try to see what should a couple do when the husband has an erection problem. The first thing which they stop doing is having sex. Well, let me tell you one thing. Every couple should understand one thing, that just physical intercourse is one part of having sex. There are so many other activities which are included in the area of sex. For example, giving each other a body massage, or maybe mutual masturbation, or taking a bath together. These are all the activities which should be continued even though the man has an erection problem. The second thing which pertains to the wife is that she pretends that she has a headache. Well, the husband also understands why she is pretending to have a headache, because the wife pretends to have a headache because she wants to save the face of the husband so that the husband is not disappointed, not frustrated or embarrassed. But by doing so, the husband also gets the message that the wife does know about my problem and is cooking up an excuse to save my face. That doesn't help anybody. The third thing which happens is couples stop like hugging and kissing and caressing and things like that. Well, there is absolutely no reason why a husband and wife should stop hugging, or they should stop caressing each other, or stop kissing each other. As I said earlier, sex does not only mean penetrative sex where you enter the woman's vagina and ejaculate. Sex is a very vast topic and includes a lot of other things than just penetrative sex. So please be aware of that. The fourth thing which a couple stops doing is any kind of verbal communication, either about sexual matters or about non-sexual matters. Well, I would like to tell all couples is that this is actually the time to start talking about the sexual problem without actually blaming each other. Time to read up books on sexual problems, or at least basic human sexuality, and see how these problems are caused and have a discussion between the two of you. Also, you have to continue the dialogue of non-sexual things in your own life. The very fact that a sexual problem deteriorates is because the husband and wife stop talking about sexual matters or non-sexual matters. The dialogue has to go on. You're not able to have sex is just one part of your sex life, and that can be taken care of. There is absolutely no need for the couple to stop having verbal discussions. The fifth thing is, again, which is very, very important from the man's point of view, is that he loses his self-confidence. Well, let me tell you one thing. You're not able to have an erection has got to do nothing with your sexual self-confidence. Now, you're not able to have an erection problem can be taken care of by a sexologist or a sex therapist as and when whoever service is required. You don't have to lose your sexual self-confidence because you are not able to get a hard-on or not able to get an erection. That is something which you cannot do on your own. There is absolutely no reason for you to lose your self-confidence, right? Because if you lose your self-confidence, it's only going to make matters worse. No matter how bad others may make you feel, they are wrong in like making you think that you ought to have loss of self-confidence if you have such a problem. This is the kind of myth generated amongst people who are not sexually literate and be careful about this and don't just avoid their company. And the second thing is that the man starts thinking that he's not enough of a man. Well, why do we have to think that just because your ability to have an erection, not have an erection decides whether you are a man or not? There are so many things which makes up a man. His personality, that is one, his personality, the way he talks, the way he thinks, the way he feels. These are the things which decide whether he is enough of a man or not. It's not the ability or inability to have an erection that decides whether you are a man or not. Again, this myth is perpetuated by many so-called Hindi films, or even amongst people who are not sexually literate and who want to associate everything with your sexual problem. Well, friends, you have to look beyond your sexual problem and you have to see life as it is. A sexual problem is a small part of your life, and there is absolutely no reason for you to believe that you are inadequate. If anyone is trying to make you feel so, you have to argue back at them and give them a reasonable argument that this is a sexual problem, it's got to do nothing with my inadequacy as a man. So you have to fight back and say that, even if it's your partner. And finally, the last thing is the man blames his wife for the sexual problem. Again, this is very incorrect. You can blame the whole world for your sexual problem and nothing is going to come out of it. Instead of blaming your wife, you have to seek her support. You and your partner should both go to a sexologist or a sex therapist and see where the problem lies. Sometimes the problem lies with the man, sometimes with the woman, sometimes with both of them. But let me tell you one thing, a sexual problem is not something which just happens to the man or which just happens to the woman. Many a times the man himself is responsible for the sexual problem, and also the wife makes her own contribution, although they are not aware of it. So I hope that this video will help many couples to understand how to handle a erectile dysfunction problem and what exactly to do when you face this problem. Thank you very much for watching this Maximum Performance videos, and have a nice day.